Hello, everyone. This is your host, alexbalgood, and this is Leap of Health. And today I'm super excited because I always get excited when I talk to people around the world. And today we have Stephanie Romeo. She's joining us from Paris. And right? Yes.
France.
France,
Paris.
France.
Paris is in France, but not everyone lives in Paris.
That's true. That's true. My bad, right there. But I am super excited because, the magic of technology, we get to talk to people around the world. And that just makes me very, very happy. And today we're going to be talking about the Kal Method. And I'm sure a lot of us have not heard of this, but we're going to find out all about it because I think this is just amazing. And the work that you're doing, I think it's great. But before that, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became to do all these methods, because this is a methodology that was created by you.
Yes, exactly. So I'm a certified life coach, and I specialize in trauma. And I came to life coaching in an unexpected way because before then I was working in surgery in operating rooms, and that was until 2015 when my life turned upside down with an accident that I had, kind of crazy accident, very unusual. I was severely burned, and I went through terrible time because of the physical pain, because of the scars, and then because of the depression and the PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder that I suffered from. I went to a very dark place until I finally found the right tools for me, and I uncovered the method that I now teach, and I help coach and I help my clients with to free themselves from the pain of trauma. Yes,
Yeah. Tell us a
to
little
say
bit
it, yes.
about, yeah, about the Kal Method, what this is consist on.
Um, so I um, first of all, Kal, what does it mean? Kal is KAL, and it stands for knowledge, awareness, and love, and especially self-love. So we need knowledge. There are things actually. Let's go back to where I was when I was like in this very dark place. Actually, there was some knowledge that I didn't have, and when I got this knowledge, that changed everything. But then through my practice, I realized that it was not enough. Knowledge was not enough. Knowledge is like the first step, and this is like the basis, foundation, the things that we need to start with. And then what we need also is awareness, and awareness is allows us to have access to the knowledge, because for some reasons when we are not aware, we kind of forget all the knowledge we have, and then we are like trapped in our terrible feelings. So we need this combination of knowledge and awareness. And then the last thing is love, and especially self-love, because we are going to make our choices through the lens of self-love. So the method includes these three powerful forces that are knowledge, awareness, and how to love ourselves. So all together, that creates like a powerful cycle that you are in, and you stay in there. And when you tend to go like on the edge of a circle, there are ways to get back in. So I say that is powerful because um, that truly unlocks our ability to heal, but also our way of seeing life and being in our best self. That's the place it gets us. Like when you are in the middle of the cycle, of the Kal cycle, you are your best self. And your best self is when you feel good about who you are, whatever past you have, stories, trauma, experiences, and even physical body. if you have scars, if you are maybe disfigured, whatever is your whatever who you are, there's
Mm-hmm.
it applies to everyone. That's what I mean. It applies to everyone. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. It applies for everyone that has gone through such a traumatic thing, such as yourself, any other accidents, or just any dark place that people might be in at this moment.
Exactly. Yes, because actually, in my practice, I do coach people who have been through terrible experiences, but most of us have been through difficult. This is life. But some people have not lived like terrible things, but it makes a difference in their life because it helps us be, when we feel good about who we are, uh, our relationships are so much better because we don't try to control others anymore. We don't get upset for the little things. We pause because we learn that because of all the things that we know that are included in the method.
Mm-hmm. How do you walk the people that you coach through these little steps? What are the first things that we should do as we start?
Well, I always start with knowledge, with with what we need to know, and so one of the first things that I say is that you need to know that when you feel bad, your your awareness is distorted, your vision is distorted. You cannot rely on your thinking. Your vision of the world is distorted, your perception, your perspective, you lack clarity. So it's a very useful thing to know to start because it's like you are in a nightmare. So until now, you were in the nightmare and you were believing the nightmare. And now what I'm saying is that, and what you learn is that, okay, so I am in a nightmare. It's not reality. And I can wake up. So there will be the first step. So it all goes like together. I coach uh, on we let's say that we use like real life, you know. We may not go like into the trauma and spend so much time in there. So that's not, it's not the point. It's going to have a ripple effect because through the process, so you're going to learn things, you're going to cultivate awareness, the awareness that you need, and you're going to learn to love yourself. And so that's through the daily life and how, and we analyze the relationship a person has with herself. And so it's through the it's really what I like and what people like. It's like very conversational and say like, okay, pause, stop here. Okay, this is what's happening. And it's very simple. I make things very simple.
Nice.
That,
You talk about self-love. Sometimes when we're on those very uh deep holes and dark places, we forget about ourselves mostly. How
yes.
do you help your patients, clients to get that self-love back? Because sometimes, we know what self-love is, but we're so, as you said, our reality is distorted. We think that, we're in these very bad place that's not gonna change. We're being there for a long time. So we kind of forget about ourselves. So
Mhm.
how do you help all those people that to get that back? Because it's one of the positive cycles within the Kal method.
Yes. So what we do is that we need to create a space, and the knowledge that we learn create this space where the person is like, okay, so maybe, or maybe there's hope. So whenever you introduce some like better feelings, that creates a space for self-love, because actually self-love is mainly three things. I would say it's accept oneself, support oneself, and not hurting oneself. So this third one, not hurting oneself, how do we hurt ourselves? We hurt ourselves by creating terrible feelings for ourselves. So that's a part of the knowledge that I teach, like how you feel is not caused by your scars, by the staring that by people staring, by your past, by what happened. It is caused by what you're thinking about it. It is caused by a sentence in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So we then have some control over that. So because of this knowledge. So it means that because you are thinking, maybe nobody will like me ever again. That's not a fact. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So this thought, like nobody will like me ever again. If you put this thought in any brain, it will be painful. The person will suffer. That feels terrible. And this is a way you are not loving yourself. So we are going to remove that and introduce more better thoughts, actually. There's a process, like we do baby steps, but it always feel better. And I think it's always beautiful to see someone, feel like they can live, love, and create again at every session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, for sure. I think when we're in those dark places, sometimes everything seems so impossible. But I love that you mentioned introducing new thoughts, some of those that we probably have forgot because we're feeling bad about whatever happened to us or the bad situation. So yeah, that's a great idea to just, kind of like substitute and create a little bit of hope with positive thinking. I think that's just amazing, and that's something that we can access from past events where we were happy. Maybe like think about something that makes us happy, something a great moment, right? What are some of the things that you introduced to what are the better statements that um some of us that been in those really bad places should search for or take with us?
Yes, so we need to like reintroduce some kind of joy. And what are the things that used to create joy in your life? What makes you, what warms your heart? What makes you smile? Just a little bit. And let's say that also the people that who come to see me, they are not like in the deep, the time where it's all over the place and that's terrible. This is the place, like it's like in the middle of a turmoil. This has to happen. It's like a natural process. So they are willing to go for the work, like to apply the method because we believe in it. And so we can access to what and we need to answer those questions, like to literally have a list of the things that makes you feel good. Maybe it's just seeing a photograph of your nephew, this little baby, and little by little we introduce like those feelings that come because we can't hold two feelings at the same time. We can't feel like terrible and great at the same time. It can't be simultaneous. So that's like math.
Yeah.
And the more you practice, the more you practice, the better you come good at it. And also what I do is, and it's a part of loving oneself, is that I tell my clients to recognize that each time they recognize that they're feeling bad, that it's, oh, that's a thought error. There's an error in my thinking. That's not reality. That's okay. So and thank you. I ask them to thank themselves, like to introduce celebration and gratitude. Those are powerful tools. We know that. And that works actually, because I reward myself. I may feel bad, but at the same time, oh, I catch myself feeling bad. So it means that I am aware now, and that I'm loving myself. And so here we go, come back in the cycle. And the more we practice, the more we stay in it. And so that's why so the process, I work with my clients for 6 months, so that they can have time to implement all the things that I teach, and that they will learn, that way they will discover about them. Because knowledge also, so knowledge includes the things that I know myself, but it also includes knowledge about themselves, of course. What are their patterns? What are their traps? So that they become aware of them, and then they don't fall into them anymore.
Yeah, and
It's
I
really
think
important.
I think it's important that you mention the time, because I feel like some people are looking for answers and they want it tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna go see you or go see whoever, right? And then I'm gonna be good tomorrow. And I think that's not how it works at all.
Well, if I mean, we can immediately, after first session, you can feel good, but then our habits and how the brain is trained, and we need to replace those patterns, and that takes time. That's why we meet regularly, so that we can have a real effect, because that won't be sustainable, of course. It's like being willing to, I often use analogies from like the brain, how the brain, it's similar, how we manage our brain. It is similar to how we manage our body. If I go and have a shower, that will last a few days, 1 day or more, but I can't expect to be as fresh as I was when I just got out of the shower. So it's the same with the brain. And so we need to get into the habit of taking care of our thinking. What is it that I am thinking? Of managing our brain. We can't I am someone, so we are not equal about that, I think. But I am someone, I can't let my brain just go think his thoughts, because he thinks terrible thoughts. That's the way it is. But because I have the knowledge and the awareness, and because I know how to love myself, I don't fall into the trap anymore. So I know the rhythm. I need to take care of myself. So this requires time, indeed, to implement. But the relief can be like immediate. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll feel better after we do something good. But you're right. Our brains are so ingrained into some of these thoughts and thinking that we will, if we don't practice, we will go back to where we were. So yeah, I think it's great the way you put it. We do need to keep on practicing, creating new habits to replace those whole habits of negative thinking, bad thinking, and just wandering around. And I love that you talk about being conscious and catch yourself when because we're all humans. Things are going to happen. We're going to be thinking about random stuff. Sometimes not that great. Sometimes really not honoring ourselves or our bodies and thinking all this crazy stuff, but just the moment we're aware of those, then we could start also changing that. So I think that's great. I feel like sometimes we forget about that main point. Things are not gonna change the next day, and it takes work to create new habits, especially when it comes to our thoughts. I feel like we get too hung up on physical body and this is how it is. But we forget also that our brain and our thoughts have a lot to do of how our body feels. So I think it's great to keep always that in mind, that we need to um, also cultivate that positive thinking, all the, self-care, um, and just really good thoughts, and be aware of what we're thinking.
Yes, yes. And sometimes it happens that it's like we can't get the grasp on our thoughts. It's like a thunderstorm of bad thoughts. And that's okay. And like not blaming ourselves for having those bad thoughts because we are doing the work, because of the knowledge that I have and the coaching that I have been implementing in my life. I shouldn't have these thoughts. No, you should totally have them because you are having them. And that's just telling them how human you are. So the challenge is also to love yourself when it happens. And especially because it happens for me too, as I'm a coach. And at the beginning, and it happens to all people, to every people, I think, who work in the mind health, let's say, that they are thinking, oh, it shouldn't happen to me. I should manage my mind all the time. Well, no, you will not. So in this case, like the strategy is like, okay, just love yourself more, because it's what I learned with suffering. And because of all the suffering I went through, I was became like passionate about like having answers about why is it that we have to suffer this much. And I really, what I've done for myself and what I help my clients with is to transform their suffering into something beautiful, actually. Like, because you have been through this difficult time, and because of that the event was terrible, and then because you didn't know how to manage it, and maybe you created even more pain, like I've done, like I did myself. All the pain I went through was not necessary, but I didn't have the tools. So so there is all this pain, and it's like to compensate, like it's like a duty, like we need to make something out of it and make our lives even better than it used to be, than it was, because there was this negative thing, and we want to make it we want to have like when I say impact, I think of impact. It can be just the impact on our lives, on ourselves, and just around us, being our best self. And that's what I love about the method, is because it takes us to our best self. This is like right in the middle. It's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I love that. What are some of the amazing things you've seen with the people that had applied this method?
Yes, accepting oneself when like there's a physical difference that happens that is unexpected, and you don't look like you used to, and feel okay and comfortable around people again. Another thing I'm thinking of is somebody who had after the teaching like a terrible event in their lives, and how they handled it. Like they would have never handled it this way if they didn't have the tools. So I'm very, I have a cheese when I talk about that, because that makes sense also. All the suffering I went through, okay, I know what it was for. It is to create more better things in other people's life, in my life and other people's life, have this positive impact. And that's what I live for, actually. That's my life has completely changed for this reason, because I was not in this state of mind at all. But I know what I'm here for now. I know
I
why I
love that.
went through all this pain. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Who or can anyone jump on this method and be like, I'm dealing with something? Who's the people that can come to this space and be like, I want to try this method? Who are those people? Anyone?
Mm-hmm. Anyone who is feeling that they have lived this terrible thing, and they still think about it, and that prevents that prevents them, sorry, for doing something that they would like to do. Maybe it's having a relationship with someone, but because of something that happened, they are like afraid of this could happen again. Or just you can be sometimes haunted by past things, that something that happened when you were a child, and it prevents you from just feeling light and happy and good. When anyone who feels impeded in their life by something that happened in the past, or somebody who is going through some turmoil right now, but like not in the I mean, it depends what is the turmoil, of course. What we do is actually that we meet on a first call, and I see if it's like the right time, if it's a good fit also, of course, because we're going to work together. So anyone who feels pain, I would say, emotional pain, there's some
Mm-hmm.
kind of, yeah, they need to improve something in their life, relationships,
Yeah,
who
for
have a
sure.
trauma. Yeah. Yes.
And you mentioned about timing. Uh,
About timing.
yeah, sometimes we're, depends on how we're feeling or not feeling well, right? What's the good timing to is it the better or worst timing to get coaching?
I would say that it's kind of funny because I see that people who come to me, it's like they are ready. That's what they need, actually. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't that I say that doesn't happen often. That I say, well, I think like no, not really. Well, I if well, some medication may be more adapted for therapy and maybe medication. So I'm not a therapist who gives medication. So the person has to, well, maybe they watch this video or listen to the podcast, and yeah, like, okay, yes, maybe this person can help me. And so that means that there's hope, and there's this window that we need to enter and then start the work.
Mm-hmm. How important is coaching for people?
Well, I love it because I think it's what I like is that it's not like you take a pill and you don't know what you're taking. It's like you know how to make the pill, you know how it works. So you can reproduce it. You can reproduce the results. And because, especially because of the tools that I use and that I explain all the things, people become autonomous. They know what to do. They know how to get them out of any situation, and they know that they will never suffer as they have done before.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really love coaching for the practical aspect of it, and also because it's present focused and future focused. So we built something. We're not like stuck in the past. We are like, okay, now that we are having these amazing tools, what are we going to do? What is it that you want to create? What is the life you would dream to have with no barriers?
Mm-hmm.
And I like that in coaching.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people are a little bit skeptical about, I don't want no coaching. Maybe I try something else. Maybe like I read a book or listening to, I don't know, a podcast or a video or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, what's the, what we'll just say to that?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different tools that we can help ourselves out there. But what's
Yes.
the difference between all that and
Mm-hmm.
actually having someone coaching
Yes.
you?
Yes. I mean, we can read books and they can bring us a relief, like it's an immediate relief, but we don't implement, really. We don't
Mm-hmm.
really implement anything. But when you have a coach, the specific patterns, this is about you and nobody else. It's not like a general thing. It's you. It's like one-on-one, and this is what's happening for you. And nobody else than a coach can, or coach, or maybe a therapist, maybe can get this thought and explain you and help you remove it if it's something that doesn't serve you. So like reading a book, podcast, it's awesome, but it's like compared to coaching, like when you have your coach, it's like scratching the surface. That just helps, but we don't dive into it. And coaching is diving into it. We are like, I'm literally looking at what's happening in my client's brain. And so what I can see, and I see what they can't see because of their emotions. And I think it's kind of amazing because we know that we need each other's. We need, like, we live in community, and we need even like touch each other, and we need that. And we also need somebody else sometimes to see what you can't see because you are trapped in your emotions. And so that's also a good reason for having people around you, but like the good people, not people who will be as asleep as you can be when you don't feel good, to take you out of this negative space and see what you can't see. And sometimes it happens.
Yeah, I think we take for granted the power of the community, whether it's your friends, your loved ones, your partner. I think, especially when we go through these really bad places, it's so important to not isolate and to look for those people that are our people, right? Whoever that is, whether it's your family or your friends or whoever. I think that's super important because it is powerful in our process of healing.
Yes, exactly. They can bring you the love that you can't like access to because you are trapped in your negative thinking. And that's good to take always.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just so amazing. I love this methodology that you have created. I think it's great. It touch a lot in different things that can help us emotionally and mentally. What are some of the things that you're like, I really like to implement this on my clients because I see a lot of results?
Well, that's there is so many things. Like just one thing. That's a tough one.
Or some of the
Well,
ones that you do usually a lot, some of the things that you put your clients through to help them with the, creating all these amazing habits.
Yes. So the main one I would say is that if you feel bad, be aware that you can't rely on your thinking. If you feel bad emotionally, it means that you need to change your thinking always. The emotional pain that we feel, it is similar as the physical pain that I feel when I put my hand to a flame. When I put my hand to a flame, my pain receptors on my skin are going to, it's going to hurt. So that it tells me to remove my hand and protect me. It wants my physical body to be protected, to function as its full capacity. It's the same with negative emotions. Negative emotions, they are painful because they are telling you that you need to change your thinking to protect the best version of yourself. Because the best version of yourself is not when you perpetuate terrible thinking and terrible feeling. That's the opposite. But we mistake our negative feelings for reality most of the time. So that's part of the knowledge that we don't have. So this knowledge that allowed me to heal completely from trauma. But it's not easy to implement. Like if I invite probably people to reward just what I just say so that they listen to it again.
Yeah.
Because it's very important. And so knowing that if you feel bad, suffering, so if I feel bad, like my emotions, I feel bad, it's like suffering. And suffering is here to wake you up. You need to wake up. That's not reality. There's something wrong. There's something like you're in the nightmare. Be aware of that. And that changes everything for ourselves and in our relationships. Because if the rule is, if you feel bad or if somebody feels bad, it means that I need to be aware, I need to wake up. Like this person that feels bad and maybe they say something like, or they act in not the best way, they are asleep. So I need their suffering is waking me up. So imagine in a relationship, if you see your partner like being like, you don't react anymore because you know that they are trapped in their thoughts. And now maybe I go a little bit far here. It's an old teaching. I don't want to confuse anymore, but it's just I'm saying that because it's that's why we need 6 months actually.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. That's the power is here in the method, and understanding that and implementing that. That makes all the difference.
No, but I love that. I think it's so true. We get uh just trapped on the feeling and on the thinking. And if we don't become aware of that is happening, then we just come on this, little hamster wheel that just goes around and around and around for a long time. That's why it's so important to be aware of what you were telling us, right? We need to be aware of like why am I suffering? Why am I feeling all these feelings? And definitely awareness, it's such a powerful tool, and then work at it every time, because as you said, this is not going to take a day or two. uh it's going to become a long time, and it's pretty much a lifetime commitment.
Absolutely.
Because life is gonna still happening.
It's like if we want to have clean hair and clean body, you've got to go and have a shower. That's the way it is, and it's just exactly the same with the brain. One of the thoughts that I have, the most, I think I have it like constantly, like I'm not doing that to myself. I'm not hurting myself. I'm not doing that. And I wake myself up this way when I start feeling bad. I'm like, okay, so what is it that I'm thinking? I need to change it, or is there something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm not, I protect myself. I don't do what I would do to somebody else, like telling like awful things. Oh, you don't look good today. You're a mess. No, stop, just that feels terrible. So I don't do
Mm-hmm.
that to myself anymore. But that's work. I mean, because my brain comes with it, of course.
We just can run away from it, but we can definitely make it better.
Yes,
As one of
absolutely.
writers that I interviewed not too long ago, she said on her book, you know, make sure you're not talking, and I'm just paraphrasing here, but be careful while you're speaking, because you're listening.
Exactly. Yes.
That was brilliant and super cool. But yeah, this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing what you're doing out there. Thank you for sharing this methodology that you have come up with. If anyone wants to connect with you, or if they have more questions about the work that you're doing, where can they find you?
Yeah, so people can find me at stephanieromeo.com. And so that's my website, and they can grab the Cal guide. It explains the method. That's free. They can grab it if they want, and they can reach out to me, sending me an email or booking a session, and then we meet and see how we can work together. And that's I'm excited
That's
to
awesome.
about this work. Yes,
Yeah, for
thank you.
sure. Yeah, and yeah, for everybody that is listening, you guys can look her up on her website. I will also put that on the show notes. And know that you can check out the whole handout and read it for yourself and see what the mythology it's all about. And also, if you want to take it one step forward, you can, book a session and work with Stephanie. I think this is a great job of what you're doing. So I love that so much. I will put all the information in the show notes so you guys can connect with her. Remember, if you need to know more about my show, you can find me on alexbalgood.com. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. And remember, my book is out. You can grab your copy on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And thank you for keep on learning with us. There's all these tools that we can acquire through, the internet, the videos, the books, and all that. And just keep an open mind. There's so many things that we could do for our mind, body, and soul scaling. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for sharing all your story and your information. And please, everyone, have an amazing and blessed day today. Thank you.
Thank you.